Okay, and another interesting shootout today. We've got the Win 3 device on the left, which is an 11th gen i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and that's put up against the ASUS Rog Ally device, gaming device, which has a Z1 Extreme processor, and 16 gigs of RAM as well. So this should be interesting. I've got a mouse attached to the Ally so that I can start it a little bit easier. And I'll use the space bar on the Win 3 device. Let's see if we can synchronize these. Not the best of starts, but close enough. And off the blocks, we've got 17 on the left versus 17 on the right. So even Stevens, that's 17% of processing power they're both using at the moment for this quite gentle start to this demo song from 9 Loops. It's one that comes with FL Studio, and it's the one I use for all these tests to try and give some kind of standard. So we're now looking at 16 or 17 again. 16, jumping between 16 and 17 for the Win 3, and 17, same thing, 16 and 17 on the right for the Rog Ally. I don't know if it's Ally or Rog Ally or Ally, I'm not sure. So let's wait until we get up to the fastest section, which is coming up now. We're now looking at 20 for the left and 21 for the right. So the Ally on the right having to work a little bit harder, but not very much. Pretty much even Stevens, which is interesting. Slightly out of sync, which is the way I started it, but I think they're close enough that we can still get a good idea of what's going on. We don't really want notifications coming up. We're now looking at 24 on the left versus 23 on the right, so pretty much even Stevens. Again, let's look 25 versus 26. So very close, and I call it probably a draw really in terms of processing power, very evenly matched. Of course, the Win 3 device quite a bit older than the Ally, both available on the second-hand market, probably similar prices, both touchscreen. On the left with the Win 3, I've got the dock in the back, which is handy. It has quite a few outputs that you can connect, a number of USBs and of course HDMI. With the Ally, you're relying on USB-C. They're both connected to the mains, so that shouldn't impact anything. Back to the charts, and it's 19 versus 20. So now it's 24 versus 22. So let's call it there. Let's stop them both playing. I'm going to call that a draw because one's ahead at one point, then the other's ahead. But pretty much evenly matched, which is interesting. Obviously it's an Intel processor for the Win 3 device, a standard Intel processor for Windows, and it's a Z1 Extreme for the Ally. Now the advantage, I guess, to the ASUS is a slightly larger screen, but slightly less portable. And of course the Ally has a GPU, which won't be being used for these tests because FL Studio doesn't make use of GPUs. So bear that in mind if you're thinking about one or the other. I do like the Win 3 device because it's got a lot of power and it's very small and it's pocketable. The Ally is a little bit too large to be pocketable, but it's still a portable gaming device. So, you pay some money and takes your choice. Anyway, I'm starting to blab. Thanks very much for your time. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you'd like to see more videos like this, then subscribe and of course hit the notification bell. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.